We'll go ahead and bring the Board of Works meeting to order. Were you given a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting.
I'll second. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. First on the agenda, Chris, I think we're going to talk about the police golf cart.
Yes, sir, the 05 club car, I'd like to sell it, and permission to recoup the money and buy UTV for the police department.
Okay. So basically the police department needs to advertise the sale of the golf cart, and do they need approval to take that money towards...
If Board of Works gives them the permission to sell it, for one,
Okay.
and if they do, then we'll advertise it, and then we'll take bids on it, and then they're also requesting to use the money towards the UTV, if you do allow them to sell it.
I'll make a motion for them to sell the golf cart.
Your mic's
Is
not
the
on.
UTV budgeted for this year, or is that a...
Chris, do you know if did Lenny budget for the UTV?
We budgeted for it, yes, we did.
I'll second. Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
We're getting one.
Okay, next we have, we need to amend the contract with the Adams County Regional Sewer District to include 4 project areas. Is there anybody here that wants to speak? Or is Ian or you? Is that mic on? Jeremy, can you see if the mic's on? Yep.
Good evening. The proposal is an amendment. This would be amendment number 2 to the Adams County Regional Sewer District Treatment Agreement with the City of Decatur. And this agreement was amended, well, the original agreement was 2014, and it was amended when the service areas for Arcadia Village, Bovo was included in the original agreement, so we didn't have to amend that because that was in the original.
We amended it for the project we just did.
Project 3, we amended it.
Preble, Peterson,
Clemens Lake, Barrington Water.
Right.
And so what we did, this is for Project 4, and the 2 new service areas are Oakwood Edition and Sunnybrook Edition. And so we needed to amend the agreement to provide for capacity and for treatment for those areas, interconnection points and maps. And so that's why the agreement says that working on a project that will install a sewage collection system in and around additional service areas as defined on Exhibits A10 and A11 to this second amendment, commonly known as Sunnybrook Edition, County Road 100 West to County Road 200 West on Oakwood Edition, Fringe, the new service areas. And so those are the 2 new areas. The interconnection point for Sunnybrook Edition is the same. That's going to run through the Monmouth lift station. So there's already a meter there. So that's not a new connection point.
And there's plenty of capacity in that Monmouth lift station?
we upgraded it here on this last project.
Okay.
And then the Oakwood Edition, I believe, is running through the same lift station, but we're putting a new meter in. Is that
No,
right?
new lift station.
Oh, it is a new
We're
lift
abandoning the old one, your old one, and giving you back your pumps and things. And we're using your same discharge line, but putting the meter to kind of be determined. We're trying to move it back to the intersection of 33.
Right.
But if not, it's going to go to the entrance to Walmart, the south entrance, well, it'll be the south entrance.
Right.
North or south of the, well, we're trying. What we got to do is keep an area for your fringe area, so if you'd ever build something, the city would build something in the property south of Walmart, you could still hook in without going through us. If we put the meter to the north of the entrance, then it ties that up to have to go through our meter. So what we're looking at is to keep it available so that the city, if something grows out there, the city will still get it.
Yeah, Dan, everything's still gonna flow through the same manhole and through the
Right.
same part of the
Right.
collection system that are always at.
Right.
Quick question, stormwater, obviously it'll be separated, this will just be sewer,
Yes.
and how's the stormwater going to be discharged?
We are using the old sanitary, and that is being converted to a stormwater system. The stormwater system is already there, so we'll be adding to the stormwater system by using the old sanitary, where it went into your lift station will be directly piped to the ditch.
Okay, is it all fall, natural fall?
Yeah.
It
All
really
that.
does, yeah.
Okay.
We can get into the ditch through the old, well,
Carrie, is your plant capable of taking on these two new?
Yes, we have the capacity.
What percentage capacity are we going to be at? You have any idea?
Use it for the last, if I use the flow data from the last 3 years, will be anywhere from 63 to 73% capacity at the plant.
Okay.
Right.
Do you have any idea what kind of reduction it's going to be with the stormwater coming out? Do you have any clue about that?
we don't know, but we think it would be significant.
Right.
A test, you guys had a meter put in out there, and I guess an inch of rain put 1 million gallons of water to the city.
We're talking about a max flow of 72,000 gallons per day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So that would be a tenth of what conceivably was going through there before.
Wow.
just for example, the Monmouth 900 area, we averaged the last month, through your meter, we averaged 117 gallons per house per day coming through there, even in this wet time. So, and the Barrington Woods is 113 gallons per house per day. So we have a pretty tight ship. We're going to probably delete a lot of water coming into your treatment plant.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say, guys, is we get that same kind of flow data from Oakwood, it would even be significantly less than what our projections are. So it really could help knock down the II situation coming from that area.
Good. Good.
And I know you guys sent letters asking us to help on solving this problem, because there's been a problem out there for years, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I believe there's been quite a bit of I&I that gets in there in that addition.
It's an old addition, ahead of its time, but the collection system has been wanting for quite a while.
Right.
So when would you start upon approval?
We've already got bids in hand. The district got very favorable bids, plan to close sometime in mid to late April. As soon as we close, construction will be turned loose, so probably May.
So you're asking for a amendment to,
Mr. Burry had provided me with an amended agreement that encompasses the new service areas and updated the pump capacity. I've had a chance to talk with Carrie. She seems on board with everything. So I think that it's my understanding that they're here tonight to request approval for signatures to move forward.
any problems with that, Tyler?
Nope.
We was here, 4 or 5 months ago and asked for, for this, and we was approved. Actually, what we was approved was the whole project. We're only doing half of it. The other would be 224 or out around your water plant, and Winchester Road extended out past Pre-Stress. Those were all approved by you guys back, but since we only got half the money for the project, we only brought half of this to you. There would be another, we're hoping if all the stars line up and we get the rest of the money from SRF, that we may be doing the rest of that project maybe by the end of the year.
In terms of it being, I think we discussed with them the capacity requirements for all of the projects.
Yes.
And it was determined that you would have the capacity to do all of those, but when funding actually came through, we were only able to do these 2 service areas. So we're only presenting you with an amended agreement covering these areas. We would have to come back and amend the agreement to add any additional service areas, which I think we should do each time, so that we go through the process. But this agreement then, the term of the agreement is the same term as the original. It follows the same term. Capacities are listed, and then everything else is really pretty well the same as what it has been. So
On that project, there would be no more entry points. They'd be all through existing meters. Well, possibly. have to reroute because of the way your lines are for out around your water plant.
Right.
And actual pumping of sewage from these areas isn't going to come online until late 2022.
Yeah, best case.
Right.
So we just want to get it in place now so that we know we have it in place. I'm not sure that SRF has even required us to even submit these things for the last amendment, but I think we need to have it in place before we close.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the amendment to the amendment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. You guys can stay here. Next, you have an agreement for the Grant Street property, the buildings?
Mr. Burry had emailed that to me late this afternoon, just prior to the Board of Works starting. We had an opportunity to talk. I reviewed the agreement. It's in good form. There was one portion of it that related to an additional term. The city and the regional sewer district had discussed the opportunity for the city to continue use of one of the structures for ongoing storage of equipment by our Public Works Department. There was a minor change that has been revised to cover a 2-year period of time instead of 1, with the availability to continue that per mutual agreement of the parties. And then it was made known that or just made clear that the city would be responsible for utilities on the portion that they're using. So.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. SRF, initially, we had requested funding from SRF last summer to be able to use excess funds to purchase this building, if we could come to terms to purchase it, because it would be, I think, a good opportunity for the district. The district doesn't need a fancy building. We need some place to store pumps and generator and equipment, and this really kind of fits the bill. And so, knowing that the city was interested in possibly building another building for your equipment, so this really kind of lined up, and so we requested funding from SRF, and initially they said, sure, you can do it, and then of course they say, well, but because it's funded through SWIFT dollars, now you've got to follow the procurement requirements, and so you have to have an appraisal. Well, governmental entities can exchange property on mutually agreeable terms, whatever they decide to agree. But we went ahead, we got the appraisal, so the district is offering the appraised value. That's what's in the agreement. But also, we had in there that the city would, since the city's going to continue to occupy the west building for up to 2 years, then we asked that the city pay for the utilities at those locations until they vacate. And that way I can at least show to SRF that we paid the appraised value, but you're not getting possession, because they're going to read the paragraph that says, well, you don't have possession of all of it. I said, well, that's because we've got this agreement and the city's going to pay the utilities, and we really don't need that other west building right now anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think it works out for both of us.
So we're talking about the Quonset hut, right?
In the building next to it.
Okay.
But the one that
we're basically used for the water department and storage
and parks.
And parks. Okay.
Right.
Do we need to have a motion? Yes. Any further information you want to give us?
We may need to, at some point, if it's I need to be able to let the SRF know that the city has approved the terms or approved the purchase agreement, and we'll get that signed, but they may require us to submit, a resolution from the city council and a resolution from the district that says, pursuant to that Indiana code citation, I don't have it in front of me, that we've agreed mutually upon these terms for the exchange of this property, and that way we don't have to get more appraisals or anything like that. I don't know that that's going to be required, but it may be. And if it is, we'll bring that back to you.
It's a motion to accept.
And I did check into one thing too. Since we're purchasing, I believe I'm going to have to insure the building, but you guys would have to insure your contents.
Okay.
And we put that in the purchase agreement upon closing, and when the district takes possession of Quonset building and the property, you still have possession of the west building. We're going to insure the buildings.
Okay.
We'll insure the building, but you just have to insure your
Property.
Contents.
content.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make-
Entertain a motion
Yeah.
to approve the purchase agreement as revised and authorize Mayor Rickard to sign and move forward with preparation for closing on that transaction.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thanks, and thanks for working with us to allow us to keep some stuff in there until we can get a building down on the one campus, so,
I think it works out for everybody.
I'll work with Jeremy, maybe we can move a couple things over to the park building, we can move things around later
Yeah.
on. It's no hurry, I mean, we're getting by fine where we're at, so.
okay.
One last thing, sometime I'd like to see, I talked to Craig today a little bit about it, possibly of having a meeting myself and maybe the council on just, I guess you guys have a special meeting once in a while about just going over everything that the sewer district's doing, the future you guys, what, how the billing structures are all set, just so everybody is up to speed on what's going on. This all started back in 17. We've got a great relationship with you guys. Our daylight at the end of the tunnel's starting to get smaller because we got all the bigger areas done. So, but I don't know, you can fill me in a little bit what might be a good thing to do, but,
Yeah, we just discussed it. He would really like to just bring us together in an educational situation to where we start understanding a little bit more about how that's going on and how it's affecting our city. And I didn't think it was really a good idea to do it in front of an open meeting to, take up your department head's time when it could be done in possibly a special meeting to where
Right.
so
the
if you let us
newspaper and
know
that
if you
kind
want
of
to do
stuff is
that.
together.
I think it would be good.
Right. And it's just an informational,
Yeah,
educational meeting for our council.
Yeah.
Yep.
No decisions made.
Right.
No, none. There wouldn't be decisions to talk about really in that aspect, but this all was done a couple mayors ago, and, when we'll at least bring everybody up to speed on how everything's working.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Next, we have approval to amend a contract from Christopher V. Burke Engineering for some softball fields at Keekonga Park. They've been working with DNR to try to get the approval to construct or engineer two adult
Sign up here.
men's and co-ed softball fields in the floodplain. So they're almost done with that, but there's a part that, since we're taking down a couple trees, DNR wants us to add some trees. So there's a part to the contract that they're working all that out for us. There's a formula with how big the trees are and how many you have to plant. And so we're asking for approval to amend their contract, allow them to do that work on the tree.
And this is amendment number 1 for $2,500.
And Jeremy, you're all good with that, right?
Yeah, basically what it is, we're proposing taking down 5 trees. DNR is requesting, instead of a 1-for-1 or 2-for-1, a 5-for-1. So we would need to plant 25 trees in place of the 5. You're paying the $2,000 for, it's virtually a mitigation plan, tree mitigation, and there's some requirements that we have to follow for 3 years. So it's nothing out of the ordinary.
Just try to keep the trees out of the infield, I guess.
I don't know, like,
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, I think we have a contract that's up with a billboard that's out near the high school. It's a billboard that we own, that Burkhart leases out.
Burkhart Advertising leases from the city. It's there by
McBride's.
McBride's Welding. They lease it for $1,350 for 5 years, so I didn't know, that's how much they pay per year. If you guys want to continue the contract, for another 5 years at the same dollar amount, or if you want to increase it, or what do I think about it? It's due on the 14th. It's this month.
How much does it cost them?
It's $1,350 a year they pay us.
5%.
I think the last time we increased it was, it's been a while. It's probably the last 5 years. I think we bumped it up $100.
What was the number again? I'm sorry.
$1,350. Yeah, 5 years ago we had it at $1,250. We just increased it $100.
$1,350 times 1.05 equals. You want to kick it up 5%? How long's the lease for? 5 years?
5 years. And then I'll just contact them and see if they're okay with that. And
Which
I'll
would,
draw up the
if you do
contract.
5%, it'd make it $1,417.50.
Okay.
Well, was it raised the last time? You said it was raised
It was
$100.
raised $100.
I mean, this is less than 100. If you want to make it even $100, that would stay uniform with what we've done in the past.
That would be
Let's
fine.
do that. $1,350, make it $1,450.
Okay. I will contact them and I'll let you know.
Put in a motion to do that, or?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to move it to $1,450.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, 1450.
And that's lease for the Burkhart sign, across from Belmont?
Yep.
The billboard.
Owned by Burkhart?
We own it.
Oh, we own it, but
We
they're
own it
leasing
and
it?
they pay us.
Lease to Burkhart?
Right.
Yeah. And then they lease out the space.
Okay.
Okay, last on the Board of Works that I have. Where's Jeff? Did you want to talk about? I think last meeting the fire department was talking about trying to find trucks, just regular pickup trucks.
Yes, that's correct. We have in the budget for a new command vehicle, and we found one today. It's online, ready to go. And what I'm asking for is a letter of intent to order or to purchase the vehicle. QPA price is $40,817. That does not include lights, siren, anything like that, or the delivery to the fleet location. So it's going to be a little bit more than that. We have approximately $55,000 budgeted in the wallet at this time for that. So basically I'm requesting that I can go ahead and send them a letter tomorrow morning to get this started.
Jeff, I'm sorry. What kind of truck is it?
It's an F-250.
And the dollar amount again?
$40,817.25.
Thank you.
And where does it go for lights and sirens then?
Jeremy Jones will do it here.
Oh, he'll do it here. Okay.
Yes. We're in contact with him already. So.
And it's going to be funded by Lowett?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept.
Is that on a state bid program,
Yes,
or?
that is on the QPA price.
I'll second Craig's motion.
Okay. Motion is second for him to write a letter of intent, right? Purchase?
Correct.
Intent to purchase, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is this a brand new truck, Jeff? I'm sorry. Okay.
2022.
Okay.
Did you have anything else for the Board of Works?
I've got something too.
I think we need to do the 5 Points project.
Yeah, for the contract.
Yeah, the right of way.
That's what I was going to bring up.
What are we going to do?
So, Jeremy Gilbert had provided me with a contract from NDOT for the right-of-way for the 5 Points contract, or the 5 Points project. So that just needs, I've reviewed it. Jeremy doesn't have any issues with it either. I just need approval for Mayor Ricker to sign off on that so we can get it sent back to NDOT.
And contract for 5 Points.
Right-of-way contract.
Your last contract that you signed was the right-of-way contract with American Construction Point. This is the contract with State of Indiana Federal Highway. Something out of the ordinary. Pretty boilerplate.
Isn't there an additional cost, Jeremy, or not?
No.
No.
That's something
Just
else that I signed in.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion for Dan to sign the...
Yeah, it's in DocuSign, so e-signature, so it's not, I don't have it.
Oh, yeah, I think it was sent to me, right? Yeah. Okay.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Anything else?
Did Kurt get more bids on that property yet?
Kurt, are you still awaiting bids on 138 North 2nd?
Much to it.
Okay, next meeting.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll start the council meeting in 10 minutes.